Hello, and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be drawing Higgs, beautiful Higgs from Death Stranding 2. I decided to include some of the crappy ones that I did, just for, I don't know, just to be, I guess, more real with you guys about how sometimes you get several duds before you kind of get the swing of it, which I think most of us, if you're an artist or a creative person, you already know that you have got to warm your hand up. You can't just go. You can't just, create a masterpiece. Maybe some can, not me. I need at least 3 or 4 bad sketches before I can get to the good ones. So basically, I wanted to show you guys what that could look like and then what it looks like whenever you're in the zone. So I was really excited about this. I was working off of references. I actually had some old Higgs screen caps from Death Stranding 1 from like the boss fight and just, different times he didn't have his mask on. And I focused mostly on what I thought would give me the most resemblance since I knew I was going to be putting like his Death Stranding 2 hair on him, and I was pretty excited. I think these all turned out so well. They're some of the sketches I'm the most proud of. Obviously, they're not paintings, which is usually what I do, but I was really happy with how they ended up. I feel like I really got the likeness. I was able to really show like a true resemblance to his jawline. And anyway, I think I want to make stickers of these because I just think they're super cute. Now, the first one is really just a basic one. It's actually I think it's the least resembling one, which is fine. It's the first one. So I think it's the one that looks the least like him. It's the most stylized. And that I think is fine. You gotta start somewhere. So I started with that. And I kind of felt like I got his features down at least. It gave me a little bit of confidence to move forward with the drawings and to keep going. I was also just using one brush, a pencil type brush on Clip Studio Paint. Nothing special, just something that I had told myself I'm going to use one size and I'm not going to change. I'm going to draw very much how I draw traditionally, which is with, a regular pencil, maybe a mechanical pencil, but even then, the lead can only get so big, so dark. It can only be dulled so much or sharpened so much. So, by giving myself just a slight, uh, you know, I was gonna say a slight handicap, but that's like when you play a game and like you make it harder on yourself. This is almost like a opposite of that because I think it makes me better when I put some stops on myself. The fact that I wasn't able to change the size or color or texture meant that I was really able to focus on what I was trying to do in the first place, which we talked about in our other video. When you're doing studies or you're studying other characters, you have to focus on, one thing at a time, and the goal was to get a likeness. So after I had warmed up with that one, I went for this one, and it's so good, and I'm so impressed with myself, honestly, because it's not actually based completely off of a reference photo. I started out with one photo, but then felt like the mouth just wasn't what I wanted because the photo I worked from was actually one when he was in a band called Trip Fontaine. And it's like when he's young, like in his 20s, and his mouth was sort of open, and I didn't like the way it looked with Higgs, and I sort of almost changed the perspective just slightly, and had him almost look downwards a little bit more, and changed his open mouth into more of a smile, and that it just really looks so much like him, and I love the textures that this brush was able to give me, and I just think it was very successful. So I need to remember this in the future that pencil, traditionally or digitally, is definitely a strong thing for me. I really think I thrive in line work, even though I love color and always want to be a painter. I often think I do best with construction lines like this. Um, you can see here that I start to struggle a little bit with his teeth, and the reason that I struggle is they almost look too large because the angle of that photo, I think he was singing, and so his lips are actually forming a syllable, and it makes his mouth look smaller than it is, and so that kind of made his teeth look out of proportion, and that was one of the main reasons I thought, okay, I need to change something. The other thing is, this is so funny, I feel like it's very Darth Vader looking, but the egghead shape is something I'm trying to put down before his hair now. Mostly because I find that Death Stranding 2 Higgs's hair is like my enemy. It's my mortal enemy. I fight it every time I draw him, and and this cracked me up. I couldn't help myself. I was like, am I gonna make him do a funny face? But I've noticed if I will really draw in the skull and really pay attention to it and not cheap out and just guess, then I can typically get the hair to look right, even if it is still sort of odd. Something about his hair on his mocap model, I don't know, it doesn't make a lot of sense to me. The bangs are, I always think that it's fluffier than it is, longer than it is, but then when I go back and I look at photos, he kind of I mean, obviously he has Amelie hair, but he kind of has bangs, but he kind of has layers, and then he has like almost like stringy, sort of very thin hair at the bottom, and man oh man do I struggle with that, but I was pretty proud of the likeness I was able to get. And at this point I was like, I feel like on adrenaline, like I felt like I could do anything, and so I was like, I want to make something fun, something goofy, and I thought, let's have him like, I don't know, like doing something silly with the mask, because I absolutely want his mask to have a personality. We've seen it can do expressions, and so I just think it would be so fun if we were able to get different expressions from the mask, or if it was able to kind of like emote different things, even if it wasn't being worn. And so I thought, I'm gonna do like a little kissy face emoji with it, and just have Higgs kind of like peeking out from behind, just being silly. And I'm really proud of it. His face looks a little bit too wide for his actual character mocap model, but I don't even care. I think it looks adorable, and I truly think I'm gonna get this as a sticker. I just think, I don't know, I just think he's so cute. And I like his little lipstick thing. It was really difficult for me to draw at first, but once I kind of understood the shape of his jaw and his mouth, it's gotten much easier. And I've also realized that only like one lip is ever really shown, because of the way that he holds his lips, or whatever you want to call it. So like if you can see the bottom lip and you can see the large color there, then you usually can't see much of the upper lip, and that's helped me kind of figure it out. Now, I did think, what if the mask is Amelie and she is sort of like an AI type of whatever? And so I kind of made the mask look a little bit more like her than I did Higgs, giving it kind of like a little bit more of a kissy face and everything. This one turned out even better. This one, again, was working from a reference photo, but I don't know, it really, to me, looked like him, and I think it was the best stylization I got. It was such a good mix between the first one, which was highly stylized and less of a resemblance, and the second one that had a resemblance but wasn't very stylized. And the third one, I feel like it was getting there, but it's still not totally him. The nose looks a little too large. But this one I thought turned out perfect. I was able to get the hair to lay mostly correct. At first the hairline was a little off, and I had to finagle it a little bit, but I just thought, this is how I think the character, it had his personality. It's how he looks to me. He's just very flirty and bombastic, and I just hope that we get to see so much of his big personality in Death Stranding 2. It's going to be so fun to explore his personality, explore his backstory. I think no matter what, I'll be happy, because I just love the way that he looks. I think he has such a cool concept. If you enjoyed this video, let me know. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!